Welcome, everybody. We're about to start with our online solutions forum with our Cradle to Cradle certified suppliers. I think just 1 minute to go, and then we're starting. So I see it's 11 o'clock. And I want to give everybody enough time to speak. So I will start our third solution forum. This is the second of this year. And I welcome everybody in this call, in our companies, people from universities, people from NGOs, but all textile professionals, mainly textile professionals. Happy to have so many subscribers. I'm Nienke Steen, the global lead for textiles, apparel, and footwear for the Cradle to Cradle Products Innovation Institute. And I put this picture in here because I do all this work because I really love pioneering. I love innovation. I love working on sustainability and circularity. And in this Cradle to Cradle community, we have such a nice group of expert people and companies that really want to drive change. And that's why I'm here and trying to drive more Cradle to Cradle certified products in the market, but also driving the offer of certified components also to create garments and homeware and shoes, because that's the big challenge. Today the forum will be recorded so that you know, and if people couldn't join, they will get the recording. There will be room for some questions and answers after the panel. So we will first have some talks from the speakers, and then we have room for Q&A. And we will provide this PowerPoint of me, but also of the speakers afterwards. So we have a full package of information that can help you to find your Cradle to Cradle certified products or components. Why Cradle to Cradle certified? That's a very important question to pose, because it's not just a certification. It's a program that drives real change and drives circular products. It's the only product circularity standard out there, based on the framework of McDonough and Michael Braungart. And I think it's the solution and the answer to many questions that we have as an industry. What should we do to reduce impact or to have even positive impact on our planet? It gives a very clear framework. And I want to show you a short film about why it's so important and why it's inspired on nature.
To protect our planet and its people, we must change our linear systems of business and production. Nature, where everything is reused in infinite cycles, is our source of inspiration for new circular business models. At Cradle to Cradle Certified, we power this shift to a circular economy. Our standard is used globally by hundreds of leading companies to create products that are safe, circular, and responsibly made. These pioneering companies show us that we can reshape the way we design and make things using innovation as a driver of change. Today, together, we are paving the way for a world where materials and products are made for tomorrow. Holistically, from design to manufacturing to renewable product life cycles, to create a future-proof infinite loop and leave a positive impact for the next generations. It is in our nature. Join us as we continue the cycle. Cradle to Cradle Certified, made for tomorrow.
So we're saying we're made for tomorrow, but what does it actually mean? Looking at the current status of fashion, you see many developments going on. It's not only positive, but it's really kind of a challenge to survive, to innovate, to still offer sustainable products in a very price-sensitive market with short lead times. We always want to renew our product groups and bring new collections. But at the same time, we have to deal with new sustainability rules. And it's not just a small thing that change. It's like 16 different legislations on the desk of policymakers, where 4 of them will come up in 24 already. So we have to reorganize ourselves. And I think companies in the Cradle to Cradle program are really ahead of the common practice of the industry. Because if I look at all those rules that are coming up, most of it is already covered in our requirements. So that gives the Cradle to Cradle certified community like an advantage if you compare it to common practice. What you also see '28, it's all about climate, and it's super important, but there are so many other planetary boundaries that are crossed these days. It's not only climate, it's also all the chemicals that we use, the water that we use, how we dispose it, what is left over in the end of the production. It's the eutrophication issue. So the textile industry has to take a very holistic approach to really make this positive impact. And this McKinsey study that I'm showing right now also says like all the leaders are taking into account that because of climate change and the floods that may come up and the heat that may come up, that it would even that the export accounting for 65 billion euros is at risk right now. They don't even mention the people and the environment that is kind of most at risk, but also we can calculate it now as a financial risk. So it's interesting, all the developments and how companies should behave in this time of in this time. What we did at Cradle to Cradle is to see, okay, what is the consumer need then these days? If we see all those legislation popping up, we see a need from civilians, I would say, for a change. But what does a consumer say? Because there's always a difference in the behavior of a civilian or a consumer. We have different roles. When we're a consumer, we tell, this is a study done by GlobeScan together with the Institute, that there's a gap between good intentions and taking action. But people want to be part of action. So putting this trademark of a certification on your product could help your customer to feel that they're part of taking positive action. Next to that, certifications are pointed out as the most trustful source of information. So if you put that trademark on your label, it proves to the consumer that there has to be something right on the product. It gives more trust to them. And second of all, they want to understand what's the right option, because they get so confused about what's the right option. And certifications can give them much more clarity on what is the product achievement. How can I find it? For example, we have our product register on our website where you can find all certified products and product groups. But also we are working on a scorecard to show on a consumer level what has been achieved on this product. Why is it better than an average product on the 5 impact categories? So it's not just another certification, it's a shift to change. It's not only certifying that the raw material is better or that a production process is better, it's a holistic approach on the end product in order to cycle it and to reuse resources over and over again. And that's where you make the real impact. So we work until we reach an essential paradigm shift in our industry. And this is based on making products for or a technical cycle or a biological cycle, meaning that your product is made for the next life. So when a product is designed, it's already made with the thinking in mind, like, okay, what will happen to all the different components in this product in order to reuse it or recycle it? So we reward all the R strategies that are commonly known and also mentioned a lot by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, but it's core in our standard already for 12 years that all the resources that we use and all the raw materials that we use are much more valuable than we think, because now we just throw it away. It's just 1% upcycled. So there's a 99% possibility out there to reuse those resources and make them count and make them also financially attractive for our industry in this very cost-sensitive industry. It's super interesting to understand that we can have a very viable business model around this. So what do we do? It's the circular product certification, the only one in the market. It contains 5 impact categories. It's an all-in story for consumers. Everything is in: environmental, social, circularity. It's a global standard. It's all about risk mitigation. We built in a whole due diligence concept in our version 4. It's a third-party verified system. So we work with assessing bodies that assess it, and then also our team of the Institute goes over a review. So you are sure that your products did achieve those requirements. And it's very interesting looking at the green claims we can make in the industry in the upcoming future. You need those third-party verified data. And that's what we provide on all those 5 impact topics. These are the 5 impact topics. Material health, it's all about chemical safety of the product. Product circularity is about reuse, or design for reuse. It's also about circular systems and the use of renewable and recycled materials. Social fairness is about upholding human rights and the integration of whole due diligence system in version 4. Water and soil stewardship is about the amount of water that you use to create a product group, but also how the water is released to the environment in a clean way. And then clean air and climate protection is all about the shift towards renewable energy and to lower the amount of emissions that are released to water and air. So this is are the 5 main key impacts that you have when you work with Cradle to Cradle Certified. We drive change. So we want to start, we always want to start on the lower level to give companies a chance to understand what it's about and to set up systems and strategies to actually do it. So on platinum level, the world would be so beautiful, but it's really hard to achieve in this current society. So you see many fashion companies are even already at gold level, with a lot of products. So we really do a good thing in the fashion space, because we're working in much more sectors, but in the fashion space, it are really true winners, I would say. Recertification is done every 3 years, and every 3 years companies need to make a measurable improvement. We also have material health certificates. So in this solution forum, you will see first companies with a full certification. It are ready-made product suppliers. And then in the second part, you will see material health companies with products with material health certificates, which means that they focus mainly on the safety of their product, the chemical safety, so it are safe inputs for the ready-made products. We also provide with version 4 a digital product passport, I call it. Officially, it's called the C2C Certified Circularity Data Report. And it gives instructions to consumers, sorters, or cyclers about reusing the components, about the recycle options. What's the design intent of the product? So that is really a future-proof system, because we need to communicate much better on product what the intent is of the product and what can be done. So I really believe in this development. We work together with E.ON now also on a pilot. So if you're interested, please let me know to communicate in a digital space about the product achievements. And we're not just a group of companies, as I said, we're a group of pioneers trying to scale this cradle to cradle solution. And that's also why we have these events like this to showcase to the world what suppliers are actually doing. So we come together in community meetings, but we also have external meetings like this. And we have great brands also on board next to suppliers like G-Star, Ralph Lauren with their cashmere sweaters, and there are more products coming up. Napapiri with the polyamide aquafil jackets. H&M with biodegradable collection for newborns. CNA that is really driving our program from the beginning. They have millions of products put on the market with a cradle-to-cradle certification. And then Woolford, also such a great brand that really uses the cradle-to-cradle approach as a framework for their own sustainability program. So this was my introduction. I can talk all day about Cradle to Cradle Certified, but now I have to give the microphone to the speakers of today, which are suppliers in our program that really drive the change and really do it, really commit themselves to the requirements. So we will start with a session on safe and circular apparel and home textiles. And later on, we have a panel on more the component side, the trims and the tanning agents also for the leather industry. So we will start with Matthias Fuchs he's Chief Marketing Officer at OceanSafe with a rich background in international business and experiences in the textile industry. He had various roles in marketing and sales, and he now drives the change with OceanSafe as the CMO. So Matthias, I'm very curious about your story and what you do with the OceanSafe team. I hope I will stop sharing and you can share your screen to show us some OceanSafe information.
Thank you so much, Nienke. I will share my screen with you guys now. Hope that this is visible to everyone. Thank you so much for your time. And Nienke, thank you so much for the invitation this morning to speak at this great forum. And yeah, it's about solutions. And Nienke invited us and me to actually, talk about the solutions that OceanSafe brings to the table. And I'm happy to answer your questions, to your comments. I look forward to the conversation with you guys. This is supposed to be a collaborative input. And so OceanSafe is the fast track to circularity. And what does that actually mean? The company is from Switzerland, and we consider ourselves to be a textile technology company for the circular economy. That means that we're not a manufacturer, we're not a brand, we're not a stockist. We develop stuff and we develop technologies always with the idea in mind that it must be suitable for the circular economy, for circularity, and also very aligned to the principles of cradle to cradle. And yeah, we're from Switzerland. We have an office in Bern, in the capital of Switzerland, but also a subsidiary in our R&D center is in Germany. We're now 14 full-time employees, and those who may have seen that yesterday, we just announced a large funding round yesterday, which obviously drives our possibility to scale up further the technology. And we've won various awards in the past years because we've been founded 2019, so we're still relatively new and still what you would call a startup. However, we have all the way from the start always hooked our technology and our principles with the idea of cradle to cradle. And we've always, we read the book so many times, and everybody is very, very, very much aligned with the ideas of cradle to cradle and the biological and technical cycles. And we believe when reading the book that textiles ultimately should be in the biological cycle, because you always have from textiles, when you wash them, when you use them, you always have shedding, you always have certain abrasion and leakage into the environment. That's why for us, the biological cycle is close to what we believe, and we develop our technologies for both cycles, for the technical and the biological cycle. And, we started very early on already, like we were founded in 2019, but the quest for this implementation started much earlier by our founder, Manuel Schweitzer. This is a picture from 2017, and he already worked with his previous jobs on cradle to cradle certified textile collections. He's a home textile guy. I'm also a home textile guy, and he was the first one to bring into the market worldwide a interior home textile collection in Switzerland, certified under cradle to cradle at gold level. We were looking at all these different certifications out there, but ultimately we still believe today that the cradle to cradle certification scheme and products program is the most holistic, the most intense, and really the strongest, because it's so founded on these strong pillars. And these are some old pictures, but just to show you that we've been really early on with this movement, and we really love the spirit and also the community that is surrounding cradle to cradle in the institute. So now a little quick note on what we do at OceanSafe, and here maybe there is one or two people in the audience that would be interested in working with us. Obviously, this is a forum where such connections can be made as well. But we basically, our business is very complex, unfortunately. Even though we're a startup, it's complex because we run basically two businesses at the same time. But why do we do that? Because circularity and implementing cradle to cradle into real products is difficult. So it has to be, we cannot oversimplify things because we need to provide good products, and this is unfortunately complex. We run two businesses. One on the left-hand side is our material science business. We develop circular materials, textile materials, fibers, yarns, and chips, new polymers, which are always based on a chip, always made for extrusion and melt spinning. And these are always made for certification by cradle to cradle, at least at gold level. So this is one basic business where there has been quite a lot of buzz about us recently. And the other business is the more complex one. We call it OceanSafe Certified. And in this one, we actually develop together with brands truly certified, truly circular, finished end products. This can be garments, this can be home textiles, but these are two different things that we do. Material science on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, a product development concept. And let's quickly start with our material science. You may have seen this on LinkedIn and on exhibitions where we exhibit in the last years. Nanea is our first generation material, which has been introduced to the market 2 years ago. It is basically a material designed to replace conventional polyester. It is chemically a modified copolyester, but it has been certified cradle to cradle at gold level. So it's a very, very high standard. And this material replaces conventional polyester or even recycled polyester. It has the same performance and durability. However, it is proven to be biodegradable. It has been tested for biodegradability by third-party test reports. It's biodegradable in the seawater. So we are actually sort of solving the microplastics issue of polyester because our material biodegrades in seawater in 99 days by over 93%, according to the American standards, which is absolutely unheard of. And so this material, Nania, we're now scaling up industrially. It has been certified cradle to cradle as well. And so it can be used in finished products where polyester is an integral part. So this is obviously a really game-changing material, the first generation material we bring to the market right now. And the second option, the second business that I kind of already highlighted is our OceanSafe certified business. This is a little bit more complex, and this is sort of putting, but for us it's so critical because this concept actually, where we basically consider to putting the ideas of cradle to cradle, of Nienke, and to the entire community into real finished products. So this is we're sort of implementers of the cradle to cradle ideas into finished products, and we help brands and manufacturers on the way to develop really good and future-oriented products. What does that mean? So basically, as it's a product development solution, it's kind of like a help, it's like it's consulting if you want. It's sharing our expertise. And the objective is a certified product, a cradle to cradle certified gold product, or even platinum. And we basically help the brands and on the way to get this developed quickly, efficiently, and in a very, very short period of time, kind of like a fast track to a circular product. And we bring to the table here three major elements. The first one is new materials. New materials means, yes, of course, it can be our Nanea fibers and yarns, for instance, but we also have worked with other trims manufacturers, component manufacturers, knitters, weavers, all different kinds of partners in the textile industry to develop a fully circular garment which is suitable for the biological cycle and which has been certified. So we have a toolkit, let's say, and in this toolkit we have sewing threads, we have fabrics, we have dye stuffs, we have finishes, and all of these materials are C2C gold. They are already audited and certified, and we basically help with designers to develop a new product based on these materials. And second one is we have audited, we have together with our assessors, we share audited value chains together with our brands. So already we have fully certified value chains from fiber to finished product that have already been audited at the gold status, and so that we share with our brands as well. And finally, the third point is a solutions for the end of life. We establish take-back systems together with brands, and we mutually work for really cycling solutions at the end, so that materials can really be brought back into the cycle and can be made into new products and into new textiles. So we really implement the idea of that in practice. We are, at the end of the day, what I mentioned, we're developers, we are tech people, we are already, we have already the international patents for the next generations of materials that we'll bring to the market next year and the years after. So you hear lots of buzz from us going forward. And of course, we always strive to have all these materials certified at gold or higher, and kind of to bring this into the world and make this industry a little bit better. So thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, reach out to me now or on LinkedIn or wherever. We'll share the information with you. And thanks so much for your time and Nienke for the invitation.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matthias. Very clear story how you drive approved value chains and components, and you offer the whole package to the industry. We come back to you in the panel session. Now we turn into Mukesh Matta of Pratibha Syntex, a very interesting supplier for, among others, jersey materials like the H&M Newborn. Mukesh Matta brings 30 years of experience in the textile sector, specialized in knitted apparel value chain. He's done marketing, operations, quality control, emphasizing efficiency and innovation. And currently he oversees environmental and social governance at Pratibha, focusing on sustainable practices. As head in 1617, he played a key role in achieving the Cradle to Cradle certification. So he knows everything about passing all those difficult requirements. So he has this technical expertise, but he's very much dedicated to environmental stewardship, making meaningful contributions to Pratibha's sustainability efforts. Mukesh, would love to hear more from you.
Yeah, thank you, Neke. Since I have been personally involved with the C2C Plus certification in my company and in India, so it brings back memories how we started, and I'll share this now in my slides. And this is really a good opportunity for me to share this on this platform. Thanks for inviting me for sharing this journey. Let me see if I can share my screen.
Not yet, but otherwise you can also tell the story. Yeah, we don't see it yet, but hopefully it will pop up. Yeah, I see there's some. Yeah, there it is.
So, hi everyone, thank you for joining us. And today I'm going to talk about Pratibha's Cradle to Cradle journey. A few words about our company. Pratibha has been a pioneer in sustainable textile manufacturing value chain in apparels. And we are based in Pithampur. This is a place near Indore. Indore has been awarded the the cleanest city in India for last 6 consecutive years. And our vertical integration approach involves over 17,000 farmers and 6,000 employees, partnering with the global apparel brands, almost more than 20. So Pratibha is not just about textiles. It is about redefining garments, production with focus on people, planet, and profit. So we call it 3P strategy. We are committed to a sustainable future, creating a significant impact in the textile industry through innovative and eco-friendly practices. Let us look at some of the milestones in our sustainability journey. This could have happened. So the slides are stuck.
Okay, I can also share your presentation. Otherwise, I
I think now you can see the second slide.
Okay, yeah, great.
Sorry for this interruption. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
So we began our organic farming journey way back in 1919, and we have been pioneers in the sustainable. Sorry, we are not able to. It's not visible to you. Sorry.
Otherwise, it's also very interesting just to listen to your story if it doesn't work.
Yeah, I think if you can share the slides, I can just.
Yeah, I will find it. Oh yeah, it's already starting your slide. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh.
Actually, this gets stuck when I put it to the slide mode. This is okay, I think. Thank you, Meg.
Shall I share your presentation?
No, I think you can see now this.
Yeah.
And again, I think you can show me presentation because
Yeah.
this is stuck again and again.
Do you see it, Mukesh? I think I can put it. I put it on.
No, it's okay. I think we can continue.
Yeah, great.
So we embarked on this sustainability journey in 1999, pioneering cotton organic farming in India. And we set up our first zero liquid discharge plant. That was also one of the initiatives that we took in 2001, when very few people had this zero liquid discharge philosophy. And we implemented this in 2001. In 2017, we we attained this C2C certification, and before that in 2008 actually 2010, this is wrongly written 2018, we installed cold pad dyeing machine. This is salt free dyeing, a low impact dyeing system, and this was a second plant in India. And in 2022, we invested in solar plant and continuous tumbler. In continuous tumbler, we have reduced the water consumption, and we converted our cut panel wash process to a simpler process where the water and energy consumption has been drastically reduced. And now currently we are working on phasing out coal from our plant and shifting to biomass boiler, and the erection is going on, and we will have it operational in the first quarter of the next year. So this is about what initiatives that we have taken. And sorry, this is again stuck.
I can put it on the next slide.
Yeah, I think this.
I'll do it. I'm sharing your slides now. Yeah. So this is the third.
Okay, I think it's still working.
Let's see.
Yeah, the Mac is helping me.
Okay.
So Pratibha, how we embrace circularity starts right from the design stage of the garments. So while designing the garments, what we do, we use a preferred material matrix where we have made our own matrix, where we have graded the material as per the sustainability parameters, and we select materials which add value to the garments. This means choosing sustainable materials that are kind to our planet. And we have been doing it for last more than 10 years. And this is the way we are now working on selecting the material for our garments. Our main preferred materials are organic cotton, recycled polyester, and also, such responsibility source viscose or even wool also. And additionally, we contribute through the cradle to cradle philosophy. Through this philosophy, we design products with their entire life cycle in our mind. We aim to ensure that each garment can either be safely returned to nature or repurposed into a new product. So this is how each and every garment is being designed and being measured in our manufacturing process. The impact of these initiatives is profound. We are reducing dependence on non-renewable sources, lowering emissions, and promoting sustainable practices across our supply chain. And this is not only enhances the life cycle of our products, but also ensures their value retention. So this is about how circularity approach we have adopted in Pratibha. Now, to bring credibility to our sustainability initiative with circular viewpoint, a major milestone for us has been achieving the Cradle to Cradle Gold certification. We were already working on the circularity part, but this brings the credibility to our efforts. And this reflects our dedication to material health, reutilization, renewable energy, water stewardship, and social fairness. It is also a testament to our 360-degree approach to sustainability. So this is this way, in 2017, we are able to attain this Cradle to Cradle certification. And this is the status of certification from the beginning. From 2017 onwards, till date, we have maintained the gold status. And here we can see the slide shows the individual scoring of each parameter in our latest certification, although this is version 3.1, not version 4. The assessment process that we have gone through is that we first have gone through the material assessment process, which involves achieving high level of compostability. I remember we sent materials for testing to your institute lab, and we passed with very high ranking in compostability for our organic cotton fabrics. And then the requirement for process renewable energy was also met through agreement with our local state government, and we bought renewable power from the local sources. And also the water stewardship was improved. Actually, we had the ZLD plant, but the recovery was less. So we improved on the recovery, we reduced the sludge, and we were able to meet the parameters required for a gold certification. So all these efforts went into achieving the gold parameters, and together with MBDC and our first partner C&A were able to get through this journey, and finally we had this certificate in 2017. And let us have some more insights into the road to certification. Our journey to Cradle certification began, as you know, in 2017. The first partnership was with C&A, and it was a big shift towards better sustainability in garment production. The path was tough. We had to follow strict C2C guidelines and work with local suppliers to get the right ingredients. But we were stuck. We got stuck. I remember we got stuck with the colors first. In fact, we had to initially, we were even thinking of making only the off-white garments without dye, because none of the dyes was initially passing. Then we got connected with some of the suppliers who provided us some dyes, and we were able to meet the requirement of our customer and could make a balance between the sellability of the garments and the environment sustainability of that garment. So this was one of the challenges we faced. The second challenge we faced, there was no thread supplier in India at that time who was C2C certified. For the first order, I remember we sourced garments from a company in Germany. I still don't remember the name, and we were able to make the first shipment as a C2C certified product in gold. After that, I think now we have so many suppliers who are already C2C certified, and this is not a challenge anymore. But I'm recalling that the first year when we had these issues and we were able to sail through these problems, of course, with the help of the Cradle to Cradle Institute and MBDC, and I thank them for their role in helping us in achieving this status. So the brands that we have worked with have been, first has been C&A. We have been working with G-Star, Tentry, and H&M. With H&M, we have done infant program, and this was one of the big movement for us. This was a large program, and we used pigment prints also in this case, and they were all approved as per the gold standard. And this has been a major success for us in last 2 years. I think this happened in 2022, and we have just completed that program about 6 months back. These partnerships stick to the cradle to cradle principles, and they are all about sustainability and circular fashion. They make our products more environment friendly, sound, plus they meet the demand of eco-conscious fashion. So, as part of this enduring commitment, a significant step we are taking to upgrade our Cradle to Cradle certification to the new version 4. We know this is going to be a tough task. This upgrade is not just about meeting the standards. It is about leading the way in sustainable practices in the fashion industry. It represents our proactive approach to not just achieving, but exceeding the benchmark set by the SDGs, which we follow. As you can see on the screen the SDG goals that we have aligned with our goals, and these are the targets that we plan to meet by 2025. And by adopting and with the help of Cradle to Cradle, by adopting the approach through the Cradle to Cradle and most rigorous standards in sustainability, we are not only ensuring compliance, but also trying to demonstrate our leadership in responsible fashion. And this upgrade to version 4 of the Cradle to Cradle certification is a clear signal to our intent to hasten our journey towards achieving the SDG goals, as well as showing our leadership in the sustainable apparel manufacturing. In conclusion, as we move forward, our commitment to sustainability is stronger than ever, and we are not just part of the change, we are driving it, ensuring a more sustainable and responsible future for the fashion industry. Thank you all. Sorry
Thank
for
you
the disruption in between.
It was perfectly fine in the end. So very, very interesting. And I think you showed you're a true pioneer doing all this work as a leader for the industry. So thank you so much. We will turn to the third speaker of the first session, and that's Anwarul Islam, GM and General Manager and Group Head of Sustainability at Pacific Jeans. I will stop sharing and ask Anwarul to show your video and your PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, and people, you can all the listeners, you can always put your question in the chat. If you have a question during listening, then we will address it after this last speaker of the first session. Anwarul, we don't hear you yet, but possibly, and we don't see you yet, but I see your presentation. If you try to get it on and that we see you. Yeah, I see you now. Welcome.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to participate in this wonderful program. And we're really happy to share our journey regarding the C2C ads. We are the world first C2C gold certified denim manufacturer. So let me share about some key facts of the Pacific Jeans Group. We are the first jeans factory in Bangladesh, established in 1984. Currently, we have 12 production unit having 35,000 employees, and our production capacity is around 50 million pieces, and we are using 3.8 billion square feet area production space. And currently, our turnover is around $500 million US. We are exporting around 50 countries across all the continents, and our journey is around 38 years, and 52% of our employees are females. We already obtained 32 national export trophy, including one national export trophy in 2019-2020 as the highest exporter among all the sectors in Bangladesh. And obviously, we are proud to be the world first C2C certified gold denim manufacturer. So all of our facilities are LEED certified, and in addition, we are also a member of the GS Redesign program. And we have all the sustainable certification like ZOTS, ORS, OCS, RCS, GRS, and also sustainable viscose chain of custody standard certification we have. And we are piloting with the all global leading initiative like ZAC, Supply to Zero program, and EIM, and like HEAG, so better cotton. So all these things already in place properly with the facilities, all of our facilities. And also we are audited by SLCP, Ampuri, Syntex, BSCI, all the leading platform. So this is our clients basically we are working for. The Uniqlo is our major client from Japan and the first retailing. And in addition, we are working for Zara, H&M, C&A, Wrangler, Lee, Garage, Dynamite, Tom Taylor, Celio, ASOS, River Island, Marks and Spencer, Zio, another fast retailing brand, American Eagle, Asoliver, Mustang, J. Crew, Engelbert Strauss, Tesco, and Mango.
Mr. Islam, we don't see your presentation well. Shall I share the screen, or can you try to put a slideshow on that we see your screen?
I think it's already in the, I have already shared it.
We see it like a presentation that is not like a slideshow, but that you work in your presentation kind of. So if you can click on slideshow, is that possible?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
It's okay.
much better. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So the passive ingredients with C2C. As I mentioned already, we are the world first C2C gold certified denim manufacturer, and we had obtained the first certificate in 13th June 2018 after a long journey with the support of brand CNA and the other partners. And our material certificate was platinum at that time. Currently, also our certificate, the material certification, we have platinum. Till today, we have produced 800,000 pieces plus produced C2C certified denim. And our product name is Apparel for Goodness by Pacific Jeans. So our produced C2C certified jeans meet all the sustainability criteria as designed by the C2C. If I mention that we have used Eco Zipper, which is recycled poly tape and metal without electrical plating, and we use Eco Trims metal without electrical plating, and we use ozone machines. We use laser technology. We use green chemicals and the e-flow wash, and also we used Eco Thread. So all together, for this C2C specific this C2C product, we have able to save 78% waters and 74% chemicals we have saved. We have used 100% renewable energy, and for this product, C2C product, we are net zero CO2 emissions we have. So this is some of the pictorial view of our product for menswear, and this is women's wear. So as our understanding, the C2C certified jeans is the most sustainable denim wear in the world, and Cradle to Cradle certification for denim, especially at the gold level, signifies a commitment to sustainable environmental friendly manufacturing process. Achieving this certification involves addressing various challenges related to material selection and application, water uses, energy consumption, social responsibility, and overall environmental impact. Manufacturing Cradle to Cradle gold certified denim product requires tackling these challenges and finding practical solutions, potential solutions. Following are some challenges and potential solutions manufacturing C2C gold certified denim products are partnership with transparency. This is, I think, one of the biggest challenge when we have developed this C2C product. The finding a right and committed partners are interested to comply with C2C standard with openness and transparency. So we solved that problem by working with trusted and long-term business partners interested in collaboration with transparency and openness. We have ensured partners' practices and prioritize sustainability as a core value with an interest in overcoming any challenges. Engaging more partners has been helping to solve all challenges of sterility procedure for the long term. And the biggest challenge was the material selection application. So challenge is the source and apply recyclable biodegradable materials as fabric, swing thread, interlining, woven level, and metal trims that will meet C2C gold public platinum standard. Actually, the most of the is quite most of the people are not believe that it is possible to make C2C gold certified denim until the Pacific Jeans jointly developed this program with CNA. So we focused on sourcing organic and non-toxic materials, ensuring they're recyclable and biodegradable. Regarding fabric, as we know, for stitch denim, 1 or 2% elastane fibers are used along with cotton fibers, which are commonly made by non-degradable polyester that have been replaced with biodegradable Roica fibers. So regarding swing thread, the biggest challenge was polyester swing thread, which was replaced with 100% cotton thread without compromising its strength and performance. Adjustments were made to swing machines RPM to avoid thread breakage, though a lot of work went into improving the cotton thread quality. Regarding interlining, after several R&D and modification, cotton interlining option proved workable for C2C denim products. Regarding woven care level, avoid polyester woven care levels, we provided carry restriction on top of the pocket bags through placement printing. Regarding metal trims, we ensured that metal trims can be separated easily and recyclable with minimal environmental impact. So another challenging area was chemical management, eliminating or minimizing the use of harmful chemicals in the denim manufacturing process. And we have employed safe and environment-friendly washing and drying process and use C2C listed and approved green chemicals. And I need to mention that Pacific is piloting the ZDC program, and we currently all of our chemicals are 100% chemicals are ZDC MRSL compliant. So that also helped us to achieve this to use the green chemicals in the C2C production. And we have also, in addition, adopted advanced technology and as ozone, e-flow, and laser to reduce chemical consumption significantly. And in terms of water use and savings, reducing the water footprint associated with denim production, which is very, very important, as we know the denim is responsible to consume huge quantity of fresh water. So adopted water efficient technology as low recovery shoe washing machine, ozone machine, and laser process to save water. And currently we are working to install the water recycling, and our target is to use 80% of recycled water in the production process by 2025. So regarding energy efficiency and CO2 management, minimizing energy consumption throughout the manufacturing process, we have invested in energy efficient machinery and technology and optimized production processes to reduce energy requirements. We utilizes renewable energy source such as solar power and offset greenhouse gas to ensure zero CO2 emission for C2C denim production. And obviously for social responsibility, we have a huge number of workforce, so it's a challenge to supervise and maintain and monitor all the fair labor practice and safe working conditions for all of them. So we adhere ethical labor standard and certification, implemented fair wages, reasonable working hours, and safe working condition. Regularly, we are conducting audit and improve social responsibility practices to ensure the social responsibility part. And for waste management, we minimizing the waste generated during the manufacturing process. This is one of the another challenge. And we appliances latest technology to minimize waste generation. We are using auto spreader and auto carton machine with the Garver software to increase the efficiency of the marker so that less waste generate, and implement zero waste mindset and strive for circular economy practices. And currently we are working to recycle 100% solid waste, generating, which is basically the cut waste generating from the cutting, the consumer waste. We are already in the process to recycle those materials in our own factory called Pacific Recycle Fiber Limited. And continuous improvement, which is also a challenge, keeping up with evolving sustainability standards and consumer expectations. So we always stay informed about the latest sustainable practices and technology. We have established very strong R&D design and innovation team, continuously assess and improve manufacturing processes to meet or exceed evolving sustainability standard. And finally, achieving Cradle-to-Cradle Gold certification for denim requires a holistic and integrated approach that addresses environmental, social, and economical aspect of the production, collaboration with the stakeholders, ongoing research, and a commitment to innovation are essential for overcoming these challenges and creating truly sustainable denim products. For your patience and hearing me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anwarul Islam. It is so interesting, and I'm so happy with your transparency about all these improvements, so that people can learn from it and yeah, copy your actions, I would say. Thank you so much. So now we have just a few minutes for the panel sessions because the speaking parts were a bit longer than expected. So maybe Matthias and Mukesh Matta can show your video. And then we didn't got any questions so far in the chat. So then I will raise the first question. And whenever there's now a question in the audience, you can also raise your question live. So I see someone is raising the hand right now. I only see the initials MG. So you can open up your mic and ask your question if you like, or you can put your question in the chat.
Hi, Nika. Thank you. It's just that the chat pod is disabled. That's why you're not getting any questions. Just wanted to let you know that the chat pod is disabled.
It's disabled.
So
oh my goodness.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
So you might be wondering if you have an audience. You do. It's just that the chat pod is disabled. Okay.
Yeah, so my colleague, my technical colleague is now checking if she can put it on, and otherwise we can do it through the Q&A, maybe the Q&A function. Is that possible to edit again? No, but otherwise people can also...
For us.
Perhaps they can raise their hands. I just thought I'd let you know.
Yeah, that would be best to raise a hand to answer questions.
So I'll start if that's okay with you, Madam Chair.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so this is a very exciting presentation. I think for both the gentlemen that presented, what would be a really good help for us on the listening side is the process, like what were the major challenges you faced in terms of meeting the certification requirements? And if you have any advice for folks on the call, that would be extremely helpful. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Who would like to answer first?
I think since I have been associated for day one, the first order we had a lot of challenges. First thing is get your materials tested. That is the first step, and we found the organic cotton with from our farms was able to achieve more than 98.5 something. I remember the compostability. That was the first step to start. And post that, we worked on the cotton threads, since polyester threads in those days were not available. But now I think polyester threads are available, which are C2C certified from all the good suppliers. The energy part, you will have to look for renewable. If you don't have renewable, you can buy the offsets. That option is also available. And water stewardship is one of the essential part. In fact, water stewardship of high level, where the water is completely being recycled and recovered, is a win-win. And all the materials that we have, in fact, we avoided the main label of polyester. We use ink pad, now very common for the as a sustainable option. And this is we are even promoting to all our customers, irrespective of whether they are buying the cradle to cradle certified garments or they are buying regular garments. 80% of our production we have shifted to the ink pad on the main label side. Wash care, we use the same self fabric and we print on those self fabric from the same ink pad machines. So ink pad technology is very helpful in achieving all the requirements of the Cradle certification. And anything else you want to know? I think I covered all the components of the garments and the process part.
And maybe you can also tell maybe a bit more about who you are and what company you work for, so we can understand the question even better.
Thanks, Chairperson. So thank you so much for your response. I think it was very helpful. I'm MJ, and I work for the Institute of Media Strategy and Design. Our primary focus is offering solutions to our clients within the creative space for circular and renewable design and design process solutions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else with a question to one of the three speakers? You can raise your hand and then we put the sound on. So far, no questions. Otherwise, I will address. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, Stronk has a question. So you can ask your question, Kees.
Yeah, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, hello. I have a question for Matthias. Matthias, you were talking about a material called Nanea, and this is appeared to be biodegradable. Is this also is it also possible to recycle this material?
Thanks so much, Keith, for your question. And yes, indeed, it is not only biodegradable and tested for seawater biodegradation, but also for recyclability. And what we always focus on when about recyclability, you need to look at what kind of waste streams are expected in the future in terms of textile waste streams. And so we always wanted to make sure that any fabrics, any products based on Nanea are also compliant with conventional polyester waste streams, because they're going to be there in the future as well. So that the recyclability of Nanea is guaranteed along with conventional polyester as well. We believe, maybe in that sense, we believe that in the next years, the chemical recycling of synthetic textiles will scale up. There's lots of great innovation coming up by several really promising companies, and we always need to make sure that our material is compliant with these new innovative processes. Does that answer your question, hopefully?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. And are you like in the EU? It's all coming up that we need to move to a circular economy in the future. And in the Netherlands, you already see a lot of companies start up processing post-consumer clothes, for instance. Are you also active in this kind of process?
Let's put it this way: we're not a recycler ourselves, obviously. You know, we're material innovators. We're a material science company. But when you develop a material that you claim to be circular, and that can be reclaimed into and remade into new textiles in the future after end of life, you need to make sure that your material is compliant, with processes that are developed by other companies. So that's why we always partner up with recyclers. They test the material, they do studies, and they always make sure that it works, that it doesn't contaminate the process. There are some materials, some maybe biodegradable or compostable materials out there which are great in the use phase, but they are not so great in the big recycling streams, in the big recycling processes. And that's always, that can be really a critical one when you don't make sure that this is really compliant with these expected waste streams.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. I think we
Maybe
already.
can I ask question with-
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Panelists can also ask questions. I have queries from Matthias regarding polyester. So far in gold certification, we have been using only organic cotton. We have never tried recycled polyester as a component, since we know that we will not be able to meet the material health and reutilization standards. So with your polyester stuff, I don't know whether it is fiber or filament. If we use this along with our cotton, yarns, can we make a fabric out of this, which will be a biological, cycle, which will have a biological cycle, and it can be fully compostable without any.
Yes, absolutely. I can only confirm that. Exactly. That's what it was designed for. However, I want to be clear, Nania at its current state is made from virgin feedstock. It is not made from recycled feedstock at this point. We're working on this. This will come in the future, but right now it's virgin. And yeah, definitely Nania was designed to replace conventional polyester, to have the performance and all of that you get from Nania. And this is obviously, certified, so this can be integrated into your bill of materials. Absolutely, and that's absolutely welcome, so that we can have a conversation later on.
Yeah, if you can share the details of this,
we'd be happy.
End of life, sustainability parameters for your material, that will be, I think, good for us to work on that material.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and with our standard, we drive renewable materials and recycled materials. And on the gold level in standard version 4, we even require 80% post-consumer, unless it's technically or commercially really not possible to do it. So we really drive from bronze up to platinum in an increasing level, renewable or recycled content. So and in the next, so I just copied our textile newsletter. Well, it's the subscription page to our newsletters, where you can click on textile newsletter, because I'm just preparing a really interesting newsletter on different things that we're discussing today, but also on providers for taking back recycling options that were collected by Fashion for Good and Circle Economy. So we can really look at solutions for take back and recycling in a chemical way or mechanical way, because we really need to find ways to close the loop, because we're driving mainly the designing and the making, but then we need partnerships to take back. And OceanSafe is an example also of a company that thinks about solutions in that area, but they're popping up so many different solutions. So it's really interesting to get track on what's happening right now to get products actually cycled or biodegraded. That's the other opportunity. So let's start with a thank you to Matthias Fuchs, Mukesh, Matta, and Anwarul Islam. I was so happy to have you here, and please stay for a while if you may, because maybe there will be some questions popping up. I'm not sure if the chat is open, but otherwise we will have another moment after the next 3 speakers. So we will go into the session about safe circular trims and tanning agents for leather products. So I want to invite Daniel Bach, Global Account Manager of Codes, Florian Schrey, Director Brands and OEMs at Royal Smith & Sonen, and Nelly Taheri, Chief Operating Officer at Ponda, formerly Saltico. I see already, the speakers are already in. We're a bit late, so we're just going to start right away with Daniel Bach about Code's journey in the Cradle to Cradle program. Daniel.
All right, folks. Nienke, can you see my screen? Or can
Yes.
anybody?
Yes.
Lovely, lovely. So today I would like to actually share a bit around our latest achievements in the area of cradle to cradle. But before we actually go into that, I would like to give you a quick introduction to what Coats is, where we are, etc., etc. So Coats is a world leader in thread manufacturing for different components, not just in the apparel or footwear area, but also when it comes to performance materials. So we basically produce threads that you will find in every, let's say, every area nearly of your daily life. Maybe hygiene articles, filtration, internet communication, airbags. So basically you find our products actually from the deepest point in the ocean up to Mars even, yeah. We are, let's say, not a tiny company really. Coats has been founded like 260 years ago. So we are pretty long, pretty company with lots of history. We are present in plus 50 countries. In theory, yes, I have 17,000 colleagues, so spread all over the globe. And I'm actually also proud to tell you that we have also plus 35 own production hubs, also spread all over the world. And in the main production countries, such as India, China, Vietnam, Bangladesh, and so forth, we even have 2 own production hubs at least. Let me jump back to the previous slide. I also want to draw your focus quickly on these red dots here. This is where our innovation hubs are actually located at. We have different ones for different segments in the industries that we are in. And the very latest that we just opened a couple of months ago is the one in Madurai in India. This is our new sustainability hub, where we actually focus on developing biodegradable and green products. I also want to give you, let's say, just a quick overview around our sustainability pillars, such as energy, materials, water, waste, and then people, which are actually quite similar to the ones that Cradle to Cradle actually has. Our targets are also in line with the targets of the United Nations. This is just a quick overview of our standard certifications and associations that we hold or that we are in touch with. And we are more than proud actually to have a new logo now in this setup, which is the Cradle to Cradle product program logo. So let's get now a bit, let's say, into detail. So we are not exactly new to the world of Cradle to Cradle. We even started our journey like more than 6 years ago in actually 2018, together with Fashion for Good and CNA, where we developed our cotton thread Tricerci Vero Plus and our polyester thread Astra EcoVerde. And this has actually led to us thinking about, hey, can we probably do more? Can we probably go beyond this? Because at that stage in 2018, where we developed our first C2C applicable threads, we were not certified or assessed at all. We just provided our bill of material, and basically the brand had to, let's say, do all the certification, all the assessment work. So we wanted to actually scale up and also to speed up things. We wanted to basically enable the brands again to do what they love to do and to do best, which is actually develop in the fast way and in the good way. And in line with also our sustainability targets and also our strive for circularity and transparency, we decided actually to become material health certified, because C2C, from our perspective, is actually a pretty unique concept, a pretty unique certification scheme. It does not only cover all shades and areas of sustainability, but it's also applicable basically on all industries. Yeah, something that most certificates cannot do at the moment, or don't do at the moment. So this is basically our entire material health certified material kits. We actually did not certify each single product, but actually built material kits. We actually grouped them, which actually enables us also in the future to launch and develop C2C material health certified products even better and faster. So the cool thing that I actually like to highlight here is that we have not gone actually for some sewing threads, but we have actually gone for all our most wanted sewing and embroidery threads, and are basically, yeah, covering not just the technosphere part, which is actually rather easy with our polyester threads, but also the biosphere part, yeah, the biological part. And I also want to highlight here that when you look at sewing threads, yeah, predominantly they actually are made of polyester, because polyester threads do offer a great deal when it comes to productivity, strength, elongation. They're just perfect. Yeah, the downside of it is just that they are, let's say, there is room for improvement when it comes to sustainability. However, when you want to set up, let's say, a more sophisticated garment, I'm not talking here about a t-shirt, maybe let's say a jacket or a pant or whatsoever, you need different thread types, yeah, different constructions. I also had to learn that actually 6 years ago when I started actually working for Coats. Previously, I was working on the brand side. You really need different thread types to not only to make the most out of your textile product, but especially to really get the most optimized standard minute value. And previously, in the cellulose world, you only had staple spun thread, yeah, and actually also only cotton. And meanwhile, we have actually enlarged our portfolio here and developed a lyocell thread, eco-region, and this eco-region thread actually comes along now in 3 different thread types that basically can mimic the thread types in the polyester world, at least from a thread type point of view. And of course, our target is actually, yeah, to improve the performance of these thread even more, to come as close actually to the productivity of polyester threads where possible. You may have noticed that squeezed in between the cellulose kit and the PET kit, actually, you find a hybrid kit. Yeah, the so-called EcoCycle thread is obviously is a mixture, is a combination of polyvinyl alcohol and cotton. Yeah, polyvinyl alcohol is the same material in which your dishwasher taps, for example, are covered in. It's fully biodegradable and yeah, can be broken down in any existing water treatment plant. So it's absolutely environmental and also human health friendly. EcoCycle is the thread that you want to use when you have actually not mono material or mono substrate garments, but garments or products where you have different materials, where you maybe use buttons or where you also use zippers, for instance. And you want to actually separate these parts afterwards as quickly as possible. This is where you would use EcoCycle, because it actually dissolves and falls apart when you wash it for 30 minutes at 95 degrees. So basically, it's a time machine. It turns time back to the point where you actually put together all the different parts of a garment. Of course, let's say our C2C journey was not necessarily an easy one. So we also actually gathered some ideas and suggestions for the future. So, for instance, I believe it's not just about the material, and it's also not just about the product that you actually have to get right. I'm talking here about the sewing fat from a material, from a chemical, from even the price point of view. But there are also several things actually on the end consumer side and in terms of marketing that actually needs to be improved. I mean, still you get actually 25 cents, at least in Germany, 25 cents for if you return a PET bottle. But if you return a garment, nothing at the moment. Yeah, and I believe, or we believe that end consumers, in a clever way, actually need to be rewarded, need to be motivated, actually not only to return garments, but especially to buy such garments. And in addition to that, let's say, improving actually and also increasing the strength of the cradle to cradle concept. I guess it would truly help if there would be ways or platforms, etc., where brands and C2C assessors and C2C PII, where they all actually can exchange their knowledge, their experience, and where everybody actually can take advantage of the effort that others already have gone through. And this is basically how we believe actually the momentum around circularity actually can be increased.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Is this your last slide?
This is my last slide. Yeah, I was mindful about the time actually you gave to me. So
yeah. And I think it's super useful also this last slide. And it was also the reason why last year we started with a setting up a community. So we now had 3 community meetings to be able to exchange more also with our assessing bodies, because those are also true experts in the field of Cradle to Cradle certified and in different sectors. So we can learn cross-sectoral, but also within sectors, we want to share more to be able to learn more and not start from scratch, because that will be stupid if we have already people that know so much that we can start already from a higher level if we share more. So thank you so much. And also we're working on this marketing opportunities with a study on consumer behavior. So next year we will launch a consumer campaign. So yeah, hope we can fulfill all the gaps that are still there, but that we're really going to address. Thank you so much. And also to learn about all your products that are just certified and also with version 4. So that is really a moment to celebrate, because version 4 is even much more challenging than version 3 of our former standard. Now, yeah, we know that. So it takes sometimes a while, but then you get something with a really a true value in the market. Now we're going to go to the next speaker, Florian Schrij. He is Director Brands and OEMs at Royal Smith & Zoon, and he's going to talk about tanning treatments, tanning agents for leather products. Florian.
Thank you, Nienke. I hope you can see the screen in the meanwhile.
Yes.
I'm representing Royal Smith & Zoon, and our message is creating a socially and environmentally sustainable leather value chain, together. And Matthias, you just said that we cannot do it alone, so we need to collaborate, and I think that's really crucial for what we are talking about here in the Cradle to Cradle meeting. And I have the same problem as a speaker in the morning, where my slideshow doesn't continue. Let's see if I can do it. Yep, let's try again. As Nienke mentioned, I'm Account Director, Brands and OEMs, and you will receive later from Nienke the PDF of the presentation, so that you have as well the contact information. And I stopped again. Wonderful. Sorry for that.
Did you also share your presentation with me, Florian? Otherwise,
I did, yeah. I sent you as a PDF, yes.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I can put it on if it helps. Oh yeah, I have it here.
You want to do it?
I can also share it, yeah.
Might be better, yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we are interrupting every time.
This one, oh, it's always a challenge to get it done. I think it's. Do you see it now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we can go to the third slide already.
Yeah.
So we are not more than 250 years old, but we are 202 years old and still owned by the same family Smit. For the non-Dutch speakers, Smit and Zoon, the word Zoon means Smit and Son. And when we were celebrating the 200 years of existence in 2021, Queen Maxima came in April to celebrate with us, and then it was COVID year. And in September, we received the royal predicate. So since then, we are allowed to carry the name royal in our own branding. We started with fish and stockfish in 1821, and it was in 1970 that the sixth generation decided that from fish and all the derivatives, we would move to become a chemical supplier to tanneries only. So we only do chemicals for wet end mainly. And then in 2017, Smit & Zoon acquired Codieco, an Italian company based in Alcignano and Santa Croce. And with this, we added as well some finishing technology. And we started a new brand within the house, Smit & Zoon, called naratanning.com. And I will come back to that later. We launched under that brand a new product and a new tanning concept. And can you please go to slide 5 first before slide 4? That's our footprint. So we have roughly 400 employees worldwide. We are based in the Netherlands, in Weesp, 12 kilometers away from Amsterdam. We have operations in Netherlands, Germany, Italy, India, and Brazil. And we have plants and R&Ds in the Netherlands, Italy, China, and India. And you can as well see that we are ISO certified and that we have zero ZDHC, which just the plants were graded A in the audit. EcoVadis Platinum since last week, so we upgraded from gold to platinum. And Ninka, I think this is what we enjoy as well with Cradle to Cradle. You as well higher your standards. So when we are platinum today, it doesn't mean that we are automatically platinum.
Sorry.
Okay, so
yeah.
we need to as well upgrade our own work, and that's the same for ZDHC and for EcoVadis. We received the Green Product Award for something that I'm going to speak about a little bit later. And our Cradle to Cradle material, we have a Cradle to Cradle material health certificate for 2 products. Now slide 4, please. We were speaking about fabric before and textiles and jeans and threads and OceanSafe materials. Leather is a little bit a different approach. And I don't know if you follow, but particularly in social media, leather received in the last years a lot of bashing. And Leather UK made a survey last year and published it, and it's really shocking to understand that only 24% of the people who were asked in that survey knew really where leather was coming from. It is a byproduct from the meat and dairy industry, and no animal gets killed for the leather that we use on a daily basis. And then 50%, so every second person in our society believes that animals get killed for the leather, which is not true. So that's very important to understand that when we look into leather. But what's really important is the 100, because when we then, in that survey, people were educated that actually no animals get killed for the leather. 100% of humane people said, out of respect to the animal, we should use 100% of the animal. Last year, only 33 million hides, naturally grown material, were rejected in the US only because we humans replaced leather now by so-called alternative materials because we find them so much cooler. But I put a question mark behind it. Are we really doing that right thing? Because we now slowly find out that many of those alternative materials are plastic-based, and the world is suffering already under all this plastic that we are washing into the ocean and wasting everywhere. So just to reconsider it, these numbers, out of respect to the animal, 100% of the people say, let's use 100% of the animal. Slide 6, please. So Syntex ZLR100 was the first chemical product that we were asking Cradle to Cradle to look into and then to certify it. It's a zeolite-based tanning ingredient. And then 2017, I mentioned, slide 7, please, that we started with the zeology development. And zeology development is the next generation of zeolite-based tanning ingredient. And we have a material health certificate in platinum for zeology. And zeology is really an interesting product because it's mineral-based, it's chrome-free and metal-free tanning. And it's a first tanning method which allows on big scale that at the end of life, leather can be composted. So with this, we really can close the circle to circular economy. Slide 8, please. Anja Hindmarch was the first brand who reached out to us when she got aware that there is now a compostable tanning methodology on the market. And she was looking for a tannery partner. And her vision was to create a handbag collection, which would really be fully cradle to cradle, where you take something from the soil, you create the product, and you give it a long life as possible, and you can repair it. And maybe even with this, you can hand it over to the next generation before then burying it so that the new soil can be generated out of this, so that new plants can grow. And she created this Renature collection based on zeology tanned leathers. Next slide, please. And when we had the first shoe brand being curious about zeology, and it was Puma, and they had started already 2010 or 2012 with a project to create sneakers which would be fully compostable. But one component was missing. It was the leather. The leather was not compostable then. And then they restarted with a Resuade project now 3 years ago. And they got aware of zeology tanned leathers. And then they started the project again and overthought everything that they had done 10 years before, and then recreated a new shoe called Resuade. And it was a pilot where they needed to prove that shoes can be compostable. We have a law in Germany which says shoes are not allowed to be composted, full stop, until proven that they can be composted. So they needed to find an industrial compost plant out of Germany, because composting of shoes in Germany is by law not authorized. So they partnered up with Ortessa in the Netherlands. They did 10 pilot pairs of shoes to see, is it really doing what we believe, what Puma believes it will do the shoe, so that in an industrial compost condition, when you hand in the shoe, it gets shredded. And then 90 days you have in the compost cycles, and 90% of the shoe must biodegrade within the in the compost conditions. So they were using biodegradable laces, biodegradable sole, and then zeology tanned leather for the outer, and the inner material was hemp. And after the shredder and the first trial, the return was really positive. And we have now other shoe brands like Rockamore, and they signed up as well for this webinar using zeology tanned leather. And there are more and more partners now looking for zeology leather to start with a capsule collection and then bring it more and more into production with the idea to, at the end of life, that the shoe can be composted, either fully or separated, so that the leather at least can be composted. And that brings me already to the end of the slide. Join the circular movement. We applause Cradle to Cradle. We are looking into, as a brand before, to as well group other chemicals and get them Cradle to Cradle certified, because we believe it's the right direction to go for the future. Thank you.
So much, Florian. I think this is a great overview of what we can expect from the leather industry in the future. And Smith & Son is already providing tanning agents, because that's where the impact is, mainly in the leather industry. That's the tanning agents that are used in the average industry, and this is like how we should do it. So this is creating solutions for even biodegradable products, but it could also drive the technical cycling of leather products. But biodegradable products are, in the end, of course, most interesting solutions, maybe, but I almost dare not to say. Thank you so much. We will go to the last speaker of today, Neloufar Tahiri. She will tell more about Ponda, which was first called Saltigo. They produce a biopuff. And it has a full certification, not only material health, but a full certification. So we're really proud of them. Neloufar is Chief Operating Officer, and yeah, she will tell us all about this cradle-to-cradle solution of biopuff.
I think you need to stop sharing your screen first. Yeah.
Stop sharing my screen, and then hopefully Nelly is able to share her screen, and otherwise I will put it up.
Yeah. One moment. Hi.
Hi. Welcome.
Screen. There we go.
And people can still put questions in the chat, or raise your hand after the story of Neloufar. That's also a possibility. So yeah, Nel.
Great. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Hi, my name is Neloufar. I'm co-founder and COO at Ponda, formerly known as Saltico. We're a biomaterials company developing novel textiles from truly regenerative fibers. At Ponda, we connect the regeneration of some of our most precious ecosystems to the production of responsible materials for the fashion industry. I'd like to start off by speaking a little bit about these precious ecosystems known as peatlands. Peat is a type of soil which is created in a very specific way. Take the stagnant pool of water. Wetland plants begin to grow around and amongst the shallower parts of the water. Each year, those plants will eventually die and fall beneath the surface of the water, where they begin to biodegrade. But as the water doesn't move, the organisms biodegrading the plants slowly run out of oxygen, and the process stops. This is the formation of peat, as the half-degraded plants get compressed into a soil in a completely anoxic condition. And that peat eventually grows and grows 1 millimeter a year for hundreds of years, until the space finally becomes a healthy marsh-like fenland environment full of organic matter, but most importantly, full of carbon. In fact, peatlands hold twice the amount of carbon of all the trees in the world combined within 1/10 of the area. They're quite literally our kind of best natural carbon store that we have. However, sadly today, globally, we've lost and damaged over 340 million hectares of wetlands due to drainage, causing enormous carbon emissions. So why is that? When these healthy peatlands are drained, water begins to leave the marshland, drying out the soils and allowing farming of conventional crops to take place, but simultaneously exposing the peat to the air, reintroducing oxygen to the land and allowing the decomposition process to complete, which then in turn releases all that carbon that was held underground back into the atmosphere. So how does Ponda contribute to returning these peatlands back into their healthy kind of carbon absorbing state? What we've developed at Ponda is a unique fiber processing technology that transforms one of the best native crops in the world for wetland regeneration, the cattail, which I'm sure some of you will recognize, and turns it into the next generation solutions for the fashion industry. This starts with our very first product called Biopuff, which is a fiber fill, a bio-based fiber fill made from plants grown in these regenerated wetlands. And with 70% of the fashion industry's environmental impact coming from materials sourcing, and approximately 2 billion jackets filled with goose down and polyester in 2023 alone, BioPuff is a light, warm, and fluffy alternative to help reduce our reliance on these products. So BioPuff kind of comes in two forms, a loose fill and a wadding, and we completed our certification process on the loose fill. And we've already kind of showcased with brands such as Stella McCartney and our first capsule collection back in 2020 with Youth's Net-a-Porter. And so this process kind of helps us turn these precious ecosystems back into the oases of carbon storage and biodiversity that they originally were in. So given the core value of our business sits in the value chain and specifically in the material health of our product, it was key for us to be able to apply a cradle-to-cradle philosophy to our business right from the get-go. So I'd like to speak a little bit about what that process looked like for us and just share some insights on how it helped us both internally in the company, but then also externally working with partners. So first, I'm going to talk about how it kind of helped us internally. The certification process is a really rigorous one. For anyone who's done it, they'll know. And it assesses kind of everything in your business from labor and policy all the way to sustainability and strategy. And one of the key takeaways for us was that as a startup, we didn't have a lot of the standard procedures and policies set up. Though we were maybe conducting our business in a way that we kind of wanted to, the documentation wasn't there to showcase it. And so in preparation for starting the certification process, we were able to dedicate a lot of time into developing these policies, but also most importantly, the actual procedures that uphold them as you move forward and as you scale. Another key component is that the process allows you to identify gaps and opportunities in your corporate structure, but also in your supply chain. So you can kind of identify how you are different and how you kind of are benchmarked against other supply chains where you provide value, but also where your shortcomings are in terms of business development and how you can kind of incorporate that as you grow. One example of this for us was that we source from a wide variety of agricultural partners and we vet them internally, but our procurement strategy at the time didn't really reflect what the key components were that we're looking for in these suppliers. And so doing this process kind of helped us identify what that is. So I really recommend using the learnings from the Cradle to Cradle certification process as kind of a live working method to continue to come back to assess your business against, even in between recertification times that you have on, or if you add new materials, etc. So I want to also talk about how it helped us externally a little bit. There are many third-party certification programs that tailor to different aspects of a business. That said, the cradle-to-cradle philosophy is a really holistic one we found that can be applied to assess kind of any type of business out there. So it's a really great marker and tool to communicate some of the incredible work that you're doing internally to different types of partners. So for us, that meant credibility when speaking to buyers and brands. People kind of knew what that was. It helped us also speaking to suppliers and partners or different stakeholders. It was kind of a common language that reduced a lot of the barriers that you do need to kind of go through when you're a small business and you're introducing a completely new product into the industry. So it was a great way to kind of prove that circularity because people already understood the rigor of the process. It also encourages transparency and traceability by integrating it into quite literally a paper trail that you set up for your business right from the start. That said, when we started back in 2020, it was completely new to us. And so we did also have some challenges. So I thought it might be useful to kind of highlight some of those as a small business. One main challenge is that if you're a small company, a startup, it may be hard to access a lot of data. So both your technology and your supply chain may be constantly shifting and changing. So chasing that data throughout the supply chain is a little tricky sometimes, and ensuring that it captures also an accurate image of what your business is at large could be tricky. So for example, when we certified, we were first looking at a pilot plan, and throughout that process, we were looking to kind of scale it to our production line at a commercial scale. So looking at how that data will change from a pilot to commercial scale is really crucial. Or getting one-time suppliers to share kind of tier 2, tier 3 data has often proved to be a challenge, especially if you're a very small company. And finally, some components may not kind of be applicable to you in the short term because you're a small company. That said, this all meant that it was really useful for us to actually do it when we did, because the process itself does allow space for thinking about your strategy moving forward, and it actually helps you identify what those data gaps are so that you can incorporate it in your scaling plan. So though it was challenging, I think it was really useful to do it earlier, and I really recommend any small business to look at that earlier on. And that brings me to my final slide. I just want to talk about a little bit why we believe it's super beneficial for small mission-driven organizations to consider the Cradle to Cradle certification process. And I've tried to boil it down to kind of 3 main points. One is that it helps build the foundational groundwork for key business processes and policies that you will certainly need as you grow. And everything we've seen is that the larger you get, it's actually more difficult to set that up, and having those practices in place from the get-go is a lot easier. It also provides a tool to build these processes through a data-driven approach and lens that can showcase all the great sustainable and ethical initiatives that you might already have in place, but it can communicate it externally as well. And finally, it's an opportunity to kind of shift standards in industry. If you have a disruptive, mission-driven practice, it's a great way to showcase how it's actually possible to achieve that in industry, and encourage kind of your peers and other companies to also look at how they might do that in practice. Yeah, so that's kind of all from me. Thank you
so much, Nelufar. I think it was super interesting to hear that components like BioPuff is available on the market with a Cradle to Cradle certification. And I think it's not so well known, and especially for the startup, you need to kind of tell the world what you're doing so people can find your product, because there might be many purchasers in the fashion industry searching for these kind of solutions, and they are there on the market. So really interesting also how you combine it with the introduction of your story, and where the product comes from, where the concept comes from, and that is part of your DNA also to do it, and that we match with this DNA. That is super, super nice to hear. So I see Florian is already here, and I also want to invite Daniel. Are you still there, Daniel? Because there's now a
Still
few
there.
minutes. Great. A few minutes to discuss some things that we just learned, and I already got one question in the chat for Daniel. So maybe Daniel, did you already see it in the chat?
I was just about actually to answer the question that Keith Strong actually mentioned. So currently, our polyester.
Maybe you can repeat the question first, then everybody knows what.
Okay, sure. The question was what material, what source actually is being used for our recycled polyester threads. So currently, it's post-consumer PET bottles. Yeah, but that certainly will change in the future, basing on the fact that the big PET bottle suppliers, such as Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and so forth, they actually decided to actually discontinue their single-use bottle production, which means that, let's say, mid to long term, actually, this material chain will actually break down, or actually reduce, or will be reduced drastically. But this is exactly why we are already developing new products that will actually replace our current products.
Thanks so much. Very clear. I think there will be much more fiber-to-fiber solutions. I see them popping up very fast now. So hopefully also I see some in the polyester area. So yeah, the industry can embrace those solutions as soon as they are available on the market and scalable and commercially feasible. But yeah, we drive in our standard. We also drive the fiber-to-fiber solutions.
You just mentioned a very, very important criteria, scalability. Of course, there are, let's say, plenty of different fibers and yarns and materials out there that would actually do the job already. Would be, let's say, a better option. But it's just that if you want to scale it up, if you want to really make it available for each and everybody, yes, then actually you need something that is actually truly scalable, and this is actually the catch.
Exactly. Yeah. The catch and the
And then I
challenge.
think longevity is as well coming into play. Depending on what you create, you might need to lower specifications, and then you as well jeopardize on the longevity of the product that you're creating. And that's a question. It's then a question: is it going to the right direction?
Exactly.
True.
And that's why we put durability first. So that's key, like to produce quality products. That best would be that it stays forever. Yeah, and then secondly, it's good if you can recycle it or biodegraded in the end. But durability is key to reduce impact. And also to make it financially feasible for a consumer, because if you can prove that your products last forever, it's a very good bargain, right? If you buy a product that you don't have to throw away after 2 years. So that's the commercial side of things. And also when companies offer consumers a discount on their next purchase, or so if they bring back a product to a store, it would create much more financial incentives to purchase cradle to cradle goods. Nelufar, I have many questions in the chat for you from Marta Kellerhals.
Yes.
Did you saw it already? So maybe I will repeat it for everybody. So she says it was very interesting. Thank you, Nelufar. Milkweed was also harvesting in the communities in the US during World War II as Fill for Life vests. Be above. Is the material harvested from naturally occurring sources in existing wetlands? Very technical question, but interesting. Do you know it, Nelly?
Yes. So right now in the kind of short term, we have some of the sites that we source from are natural sites, but they typically, or wild grow sites, and they typically are projects that we work with conservation groups to harvest from. So it's done it's hand harvested in that case, and we work kind of directly with conservation groups that manage that site and remove the crops each year. That said, our strategy for agricultural sourcing is actually looking at cultivation. So our mission is to be able to cultivate these crops on damaged wetlands in efforts to re-wet them and restore them long term. So that kind of hopefully also answers the second part of your question around whether we'd be looking to do that. That is the case. We are looking to do that right now. We mainly source at the moment in the UK and also in Europe, and it happens in conjunction with kind of larger scale projects, also some that are government funded, to be able to kind of expand this growth of polludiculture, which is essentially the cultivation of crops on peatlands.
Thank you so much. That was the third question already that you answered, right? I think you covered them all.
The only other thing I'll say is we do hand harvest them in some cases. However, we're also looking at machine harvesting. That said, all of that kind of happens again in line with all of our practices. So for example, we time our harvests after nesting season. We ensure that none of the other crops that may grow in that area are damaged, etc. So it's very sensitive kind of implementation of machinery as well.
Thank you so much. Very clear. And I see a green heart, so I think Marta is happy with your answer. So that's a very nice sign. So we have 3 minutes to close the session already. Maybe I would like to close maybe with you saying maybe like the most important your most important takeaway for the audience. Like, okay, being in this program, looking at your learning exercise, looking at the current state of the market, what is your advice to interested people in this program and your products? Maybe to start with Nelly, and then we go to Florian and then
I guess, I mean, I kind of mentioned this already in the presentation, but I think my key takeaway is if you are a small company, if you're a startup, I really do recommend looking at it earlier. We were kind of, I mean, there is kind of that sweet spot of when you do look at it, because doing it too early, you may not have a lot of your kind of infrastructure in place. But I just think it's really crucial to help set up the business in a way that you might already be operating, but you don't realize that you kind of require all of this groundwork. And the Cradle to Cradle certification process really helps you identify that. And yeah, so I really recommend that. And then again, if it's something that you come back to, personally, I find that really useful. As you scale, it's easy when you're a small company, if you're a small team, to let go of a lot of those pieces, but to be able to actually come back to it and then see how your scaling decisions align with those processes, with those procedures, and kind of the strategy that you had set in place when you certified, that's really crucial as well, I think, when trying to scale, to make sure everything is kind of in line. So that would be kind of my main takeaway, I guess.
Thanks. Florian.
Yeah, I think that very well said. And then in addition, what we enjoy is really the challenge to upgrade every 3 years when you need to recertify. What is it that where can we improve to get better, so that it makes sense to grow into the more sustainable way and challenge ourselves in the processes and in the making of.
Thank you, Florian. Daniel?
For me, product development is actually always, let's say, a jigsaw thing. Yeah, you need different pieces. Yeah, and the more pieces are actually C2C certified. Yeah, at least material health is, if not full. That makes the whole game actually a whole lot easier. Yeah, and it's great actually to see that more and more also tier 2/trim suppliers are actually coming up with certifications. So that actually facilitates the development process on the brand side a whole lot, because they do not have, let's say, to also take care of all the assessments, but truly can take benefit of the existing C2C products. And I believe that also your C2C platform, where you actually can search for different products, trims, fabrics, suppliers, whatsoever, that is also a great deal. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, it's clear, I think this is a program for suppliers, but also for brands, retailers, and agencies like OceanSafe. So it are all drivers for change, and we need all those partnerships and value change to make this change. And I think it's, yeah, maybe everybody can now join. Yeah, Matthias, and I see Anwar and Mr. Mukesh. I think you're great examples of people that dare it and that just do it instead of talking about circularity, because I heard so many people talking about circularity and they're trying to invent what it means, but we're just doing it. And I'm so proud of the suppliers in our program, because they're often hidden behind the big brand names and the retailer names, but they're key to drive solutions and really to drive impact if we want to reduce water, to turn into renewable energy, to reduce our emissions, and even bring something positive to this world. We cannot just purchase it and believe that it's something that turns overnight. It's a real investment that has been made on the technical side mainly of things. And it's a challenge, because of course we need to engage with the consumer to really reward the work that we are doing. And how can we really engage with this consumer? So I'm so happy that we did this consumer study also for the suppliers in our program to drive the demand, because the demand is still quite low, I think, for the achievements that we make. And I think there's a huge movement going on, but we have to speak up and have to tell the story. And we did that today. Thank you very much to all the speakers. Matthias Fuchs of OceanSafe, Mukesh Matta of Pratibha Syntex, Anwarul Islam of Pacific Jeans, Daniel Bach of Coats, Florian Schrij of Royal Smith & Zonen, and Nelufar Tahiri of Ponda. Thank you so much for today. I need to close the session and I hope to meet you all soon. Thanks to the listeners, and please reach out if you want to know anything about all of us. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.